Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Screen, where we talk about all the movies you love and what we love about them. For the third time, we have Logan Wallace with us today.
Hello.
And so today we're doing something a little different. We're just doing some audio work today. You're not going to be able to see our lovely faces or our special effects. So sad. But we'll still try to keep it entertaining and we'll try to keep it as cool as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so for today's topic, we're going to talk about the new Superman movie,
hmm
which I know Logan is super excited about, seeing as though he is our go-to superhero guy. Isn't that right?
That's me. You know it.
So, between DC and Marvel. Oh, and before we start, I want to preference this by saying there are going to be many spoilers. So, if you are not into that sort of thing, you have to go somewhere else for your content. Sorry, buddy. Okay,
Yeah.
Logan. Okay, Logan. So, between Marvel and DC, what is your vice?
I'm a Marvel kiddo. I have been for the longest time. I love superheroes across the board. I love DC as well, but I'm just more. I'm in more inclined to Marvel. But I still love DC just as much.
Yeah, I'm a DC person. I love everything DC. I'm not super huge into Marvel, so I'm super excited to talk about this new Superman.
Tee.
You watched the new Superman?
I have, yeah. I thought it was really, really good.
So I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet that's roughly James Gunn versus Zack Snyder.
hmm
Have you been seeing that?
Yeah, it's been a thing ever since they first announced the movie.
And I've never liked Superman. I've hated Superman. What are your opinions on him?
Superman, he's the poster child of DC next to Batman. If like you can't have, there's without Superman and also Batman, there really isn't much of DC, in my opinion. Kind of all started with those two.
You watched Man of Steel, right?
Yeah, a while ago, but yeah,
So I did not watch it because again, I'm not a big Superman fan. I'm actually a hater. Call me
yeah,
Lex Luthor the way I be hating Superman.
right.
But
She's a professional Superman hater.
if I was a villain in DC, I would be the equivalent of Reverse Flash to Superman.
That's crazy business.
I would I would go out of my way to harm him bodily.
You couldn't though, because he's Superman. But
I would still sit there and try my hardest.
yeah, not me. I think Superman's pretty cool, especially this one. This new one is really, really good. I think he did a great job.
So I want you to kind of talk about the comparison between Man of Steel and this new Superman because I've been seeing it's completely different. Man of Steel is like dark and I'm Superman.
Yeah,
And then we have like 1950s. Oh boy, guys, let's save the world,
right,
Superman.
right.
So I want you to
Um,
talk a little bit about that.
sure. I mean, obviously, like you said, the older Superman, or the older, I guess, being the Man of Steel or Henry Cavill's Superman, is kind of it was an unfortunate kind of deal that for the longest time, especially back then, like I think that came out in like 2000, like I think 15 or something like that. Around that time, that's when like Marvel was at its peak, and DC has just been kind of, especially DC and the DC Cinematic Universe, the DC, I think it's DCU, yeah. Their movies have kind of been not good for the longest time. They've had a couple bangers, but that was like, it just wasn't a super good film franchise for the longest time. Being a DC fan, their live action stuff wasn't super good, and Superman was unfortunately one of those. Um, I feel like it's just kind of hard to do a Superman movie correctly, especially because he's just so hard to scale. Because especially Man of Steel, they kind of gave him that most like Twitter people would call him, like, you know how people on Twitter will say like who would win, Superman versus this guy? It's like
Mhm.
they're the impossible, the insurmountable being that is Superman, right? They kind of made him that way, and so it made it kind of uncomfortable for him to have those challenges, like to overcome things. And if you're already basically the strongest being on the planet, and the only thing that he could ever fight in the Man of Steel was, I guess, for the first one, was definitely like the other Kryptonians. He had to fight Zod, and he kind of had this overall like just gusto that did not feel like Superman. Especially because I know you've seen all the animated stuff, you know,
Mhm.
like the Justice League Unlimited. Superman in that one, you know, he was the guy who wanted to save people, and he was the lighthearted person, you know, compared to the Batman. While the Zack Snyder, or not Zack, yeah, Zack Snyder's Superman was kind of this weird, dark, rainy, just not as, I guess, not as like lighthearted Superman. He's just this tough, rigid kind of. Um, I don't know, he just definitely is. It's a very different Superman, and a lot of people really like that because it was like kind of dark and gritty. But I feel like that's a huge disconnect from like the source material, because Superman is not dark and gritty. He's the boy in blue. He wears underpants outside of his.
Right.
He wears under. He has underpants on the outside of his suit. That's his character. Um, and it's just it's good to see it, and that's why I liked the new one so much. Not because of like his underwear pants being on the outside, which is cool, but it's more like the fact that Superman, this one felt like the symbol of like hope and like peace, while this one, while Zack Snyder's was more like a symbol of, I don't know, like very powerful man. He's Superman. He's super. The more aspect of it, the super, is capitalized in Zack Snyder's Superman, and the man is capitalized in, um, what's his name?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Thank you,
Yeah.
James Gunn Superman. So I feel like that's what kind of gives it more character.
I totally agree. I feel like Zack Snyder, just from the clips I've seen and kind of hearing everybody's thoughts about the movie and reviews, I think it's kind of like fan fiction Superman. It feels like alternate universe, you know? Um, I so I'm conflicted. James Gunn, this version of Superman is so good. I really enjoyed this movie. It made me feel hopeful. It made me feel like life was worth living. I'm like, you know, I should be a stand-up person. I should save kids from buildings, you know? Like,
Right.
it just gave me such a feeling of empowerment. And I just feel the evil leaving my body, and I hate it. Because I hate Superman. I don't like you. And he's just so likable in this new movie. And that the underpants on the outside, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's part of the reason I hate Superman. He's just a corny guy. And I get he's so corny. And I get that's part of the whole, like, he's an alien. He's like, you know, like, he's just too,
It's not even about the.
he's just too weird for me. I don't know. So I was really shocked that I was shocked with both movies, to be honest, because like you said, I've watched most of the animated series. I've read most of the main continuity of everybody, and I'm just like, I don't know why Man of Steel painted him to be so emo. Like, why?
There's a soiree of problems with the Man of Steel. There's a scene that really bugs me in particular, where his his paw, you know, his Earth dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where there's a tornado approaching, and obviously it's Superman. He's a grown ass man. He's fully grown in this scene, and I'm pretty sure you've probably seen the meme of it at some point, but where there's sort of like a huge storm or a tornado approaching him, and then like Clark Kent gets up to go save his dad, and then the dad just turns around and holds his hand out while he gets consumed, like to just don't save me. And I was like, that is so stupid. There would never be a circumstance where Superman would be like, okay, he's
Right.
Superman, you know, and like his whole gimmick, like he is to save everybody, and like it was to the point, like it was such it was an avoidable like death that he just kind of let happen for whatever reason. I think it was like to preserve his, um, maybe his alter ego, but like, at the same time, it's like Superman is able to fly to Antarctica, and like you saw that in the James Gunn film too. He's able to fly to Antarctica in like 30 seconds. And like there's so many things I just didn't like about it. And like you saw in James Gunn film that he saved that squirrel. His whole gimmick is like he wants to save his life. He said, "I want to save a life. I'm going to save lives." He's literally crying and shouting it to Lois during that interview. So I need to save people. And the Superman and Zack Snyder couldn't even save his own paw from a slow-moving tornado. And I was like, I just don't think that was one of the scenes that bothered me. It's supposed to be like this huge like heart-throbbing moment where it's supposed to make you feel like, oh, it's so the horror. That I'm like, it's Superman. I should not be feeling the horror.
Right. And I've seen a lot of memes on the internet about Man of Steel. And I hope the audience gets this meme. I don't know the age range of everybody in this who's going to be watching this, but the scene where there's a bomb in a suitcase and he knows it's about to blow up, like he can hear it ticking, and he just lets it blow up because he's aura farming.
Jesus Christ.
I love that meme so much because it just showed like why like,
Why did you do that, dude?
Everybody is entitled to their own interpretation of different forms of media, but why? I don't think Superman would just sit there like Chad facing as the building blew up.
Yeah.
And for everybody who doesn't know what aura farming is, it means just trying to look good. trying to look good.
As cool as you can.
As cool, like, nah, man, I can't do that. I'm Superman. I can't save your life. Like, that's aura farming. And so I really do appreciate this new version of Superman because it's everything I hate about Superman. Him being, good, but I guess I hate good Superman a lot less than cold-hearted Superman, which is so funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I have such a complicated relationship with Superman.
Okay, Lois Lane.
We should talk it out.
No, I feel like there's a huge the feeling of and this can bring it back a little bit here, but the fact that Superman in Zack Snyder's film was this godly being who was kind of like your ultimate weapon, and I feel like the comics have kind of turned towards that as well, where it's you have like Superman is like your secret weapon. Like if Superman is defeated or Superman is like under control, it's over, right? It's almost like, well, that's wraps. There's nothing else you can do. If Superman's like turned against you, or he's this untouchable being. And I like the fact that they kind of brought him back, like rein him back up. They wrangled him, and they kind of brought back the fact that Superman isn't this immortal being who can do anything and destroy and like basically solve all the problems, and basically negate the fact that the whole reason for there being a Justice League. But they made it to where like he's not. He's one guy. He's a very powerful guy, albeit, but he's not like this infinitely strong, punch a planet and break it in half Superman. He's just Superman with super strength. He can fly. He can breathe. Cold air, heat vision, a whole shebang. But it's not like these planetary, universally destructible powers he has. He's just like, I don't know. It feels like it's like an actual superhero that has like, he can't do it all, which is so good, and it's so refreshing because it's like I'm so used to like seeing the animated Superman be the same way. Like in the Justice League, Superman was like that. He was a powerful guy, but he wasn't the problem solver. That's what the whole team is for. That's another thing I love about the James Gunn film is it was also teamwork involved too, with the Justice Gang.
And speaking of the Justice Gang, we have to talk about Mr. Terrific.
Oh, Mr. T.
Oh, Mr. Terrific. I cannot put into words how much I loved Mr. Terrific in this movie. And I loved his little fight scene. Yeah. Oh man. Oh
yeah,
man.
that was really great. Fun.
And I also want to talk about the point that you brought up the other day about the actor who played Mr. Terrific, he was poached basically from Marvel.
Which is so funny because they poached Henry Cavill.
See, I think I see that a lot. DC and Marvel poaching each other, or I don't know. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I feel like there's an obvious one, but I just can't think of it.
Well, DC and Marvel, they bounce between all the time.
Yeah.
Batman, Michael Keaton, he was the Vulture in Spider-Man. Man, I can go for round here. Let's see here. We also have Henry Cavill, obviously being Superman, and then he was Wolverine. Very briefly though, albeit.
Oh wow, yeah, we sat in the movie theater and saw that.
Yeah, the Calvarian, dude. That
Completely
was like the
forgot.
hype. That was super hype.
Forgot.
He looked fantastic as Wolverine. Holy
Oh.
moly.
On a side note, I'm not a big Henry Cavill girl.
That's okay.
I feel so like isolated, being like, I don't really think. Henry
Yeah, well,
Cavill's
you
that
gotta
bad.
understand that
He's
Henry
great.
Cavill's not for the girls.
I'm starting to think so.
He's kind of entering that
Ryan Reynolds face.
that Ryan Reynolds league.
Yeah, yeah.
He's no
'Cause-
longer for the girls. He's for the
'Cause
boys.
I'm like, yeah, y'all. He's cool. Sure, he has a great personality. Which also, back to the Man of Steel, because we have to just keep beating this dead horse. Henry
Yeah.
Cavill is such a sweet, innocent baby child. Like, I don't know him personally, obviously. He could be evil behind closed doors, but like,
Right.
how he presents himself and the things that he likes, and he's just kind of like quirky and cute. And then they're like, yeah, and not you're gonna be a good Superman, you're gonna be evil. Like, what?
He's not really evil. He's just kind of not that.
Lets a
That's-
whole entire
He's not
orphanage blow up.
Yeah, he's not like intuitive evil. He's like, what's the word I'm
He's
looking
too
for here?
self-absorbed, it seems, in Man of Steel to like care about anything else.
Right. I mean, he's not self-absorbed. I think he has like his issues that one of the main points of the Man of Steel was that the government was like trying to figure out what the hell Superman was. And that was like a very strange and huge talking point because like it's obviously he's an alien,
Yeah.
which brought a lot of stuff, and they were unable to be captured. But he basically like threatened a lot of the government, which is super odd because Superman is he's human he's not human, but he's raised on planet Earth. He's like Goku, literally the same story.
Who would win, Goku or Superman?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about James Gunn Superman, it's neck and neck.
Yeah, I just want an answer.
Yeah, right.
You have to see it.
I know. Let me
So
see here.
for excuse me. So as far as films go, I feel like 2025 and 2024, I feel like since last September. No, it's before that. Yeah, we're just gonna lump both years together.
Sure.
This past year has been so insane for film.
Right.
It has been absolutely insane. I mean, from the horror movies last year to the superhero movies that are coming out this year, it's been a good year for movies, and I'm so poor because of it.
I feel that.
I'm so poor because of it. But back to the topic at hand, Superman. Something I really liked about it was, again, they brought back his corny factor, and there was a feel-good ending,
Right.
and it was like the bad guy gets got, gets arrested. He looks sad, everyone's clapping. They're like, yeah, Superman, you tell him. Like, it just
Right.
felt so empowering, and it was like a feel-good all-American movie. I know that sounds so cringe. I don't care. But it was a feel-good, like, Yeah, baby, I love my I
I
love my
mean,
superhero.
if you want to, I mean, that's kind of the original reason
Yeah.
why Superman was created, is to
Yep.
produce that feeling. So you feeling that isn't necessarily wrong. I wouldn't even call it cringe, to be honest, because that's the whole point of Superman. One of Superman's like starting quotes is like, he's a huge fan of truth, justice, and the American way. That is literally like a Superman quote, bar for bar. Like that's like his whole gimmick. And I'm like, so, and even in the movie now, like the James Gunn film, they encapsulated that feeling very well.
Yeah.
And it was not, he didn't even have to say it, but you felt that quote through the entire movie.
And there's some other stuff about the movie that I won't touch on in this podcast or anything like that, just because it's kind of like sensitive subjects. But
Right.
I just there's so much I can appreciate about this movie. And something I didn't know, kind of off topic of the whole superhero talk, but did you know that James Gunn wrote Scooby-Doo, the live action Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
James Gunn also wrote, I can't remember which Guardians of the Galaxy he wrote. He wrote that one.
Yeah, my mom was saying that this Superman felt so much like Guardians. It felt like a Guardians-esque movie.
I guess. I mean, I don't compare the two because they're on two different like
Well,
wavelengths.
yeah. But I think she means like James Gunn has a very particular stylization of his films,
Yeah, he likes music. That's a huge thing
Yeah.
with James Gunn, is his musical.
which makes so much sense that in Scooby-Doo, Sugar Ray played on the cursed island, and I remember that was the start of a whole obsession for me as a kid. I was like, Sugar Ray. Thanks,
Sugar
James
Ray,
Gunn.
Sugar Ray.
Okay, well, I guess that just about wraps it up. Zoom is telling us we're out of time anyway, so
Oh, okay. Well, that's how it goes.
well, tune in next week where we're going to talk about what? What are we going to talk about? It's probably going to be the epic Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
It might be that guy. I don't know. I don't know
Happy
when it comes
birthday.
out.
Hey, just for everybody out there, happy birthday, MF Doom.
Happy birthday, MF Doom. This is going to air on the 14th. It was yesterday. But happy birthday, MF Doom. May your soul rest in peace.
With the goat. It's my goat.